Okay, Miss Agnew? All right, we're ready to take your statement. Why don't you start by telling us about the police situation you have and explain why you contacted policeabuse.com. And we are recording.
Okay, I've reported a man that was abusing me for many years to many different people, police departments, and they would never do anything. And at first I thought it was just because he was snitching to them. And then I figured out that they're letting him away with so much, it can't be just because he's a snitch. And I finally started talking to different people, and they told me that everyone has known for years that this man gives drugs to these police officers for them to look the other way.
Okay.
He's gotten away with almost killing me at least dozens of times, but there are 3 times that I have witnesses. They know about the witnesses, and they told me that it was still hearsay, that they couldn't do anything.
So the police have been giving him a pass. He's your ex-husband?
Well, years ago we dated, but for the last 6 years I just allowed him to live in my home.
Okay.
But on the couch. So they knew we were not a couple anymore, but they said that they still couldn't get involved because since he lived under my roof, it was still domestic.
And this is someone that was actually abusing you?
Yes.
Okay, well, do me a favor.
So every time he attacked me, they wouldn't do anything, but I never hit him, and all he'd have to do is call and say I hit him, and I would be arrested. So how could it not be domestic on one hand, but then it is the other?
Right, I understand. Well, let me ask you this. What sort of abuse did he engage in that the police passed on and looked the other way?
Okay, just recently he broke my back trying to kill me, and they know that there's a man poaching deer out in the woods and saw and heard the entire thing. And if a car hadn't been driving by, I probably would be dead. The man had full intention of killing me, but he broke my back, and at the time I didn't know it was broken. I just knew for some reason I couldn't defend myself. I kept trying to pull his pant leg to trip him, and I couldn't even move my arms. And they know about this and didn't to anybody.
Did the police take... Hold on. Did the police take a report on this incident where your back was broken?
Yes.
So there is an official police report.
I talked to a man that had told me he was at that time the head of DEA, because when he attacks me, it's usually because he's on meth. And the man told me he'd talked to him, and then the next time we saw that officer, the officer told him that he had just had to quit his job because they found 5 meth labs in his home. 5 working meth labs is what he said exactly.
Well, let me go back. Hold on. I want to go back to another point you just made about your husband, or you're not your husband, but your boyfriend and the abuse. I want to talk about that for a minute. You said he abused you, he broke your back, and I want to ask a few more questions about that. You said the police...
He's been abusing me and my son for 13 years now.
Okay.
I've reported this all the time, and the officers in Crossville did nothing about it because they were taking drugs from him. And then when we moved to Wartburg, Lansing, which is in the county from Morgan County, which is Wartburg, they refused to do anything.
Okay.
The last time he booby-trapped my home to blow up on me, I gave them 2 witnesses to talk to, and they didn't try to speak to either one of them. They said, oh, that's hearsay, we can't do anything.
Okay, well, let's stop. Hold it. Miss Agnew. You got to let me ask questions. You can't take over the interview. I need to ask questions. I want to go back to the issue of what he did when he broke your back. Did they document the fact that your back was broken, and were you treated? Did you get medical treatment?
I had to have back surgery.
You did. And so a doctor confirmed that your back was broken?
Yes. They said it crushed vertebrae, and the bone was resting on the sciatic nerve. And because it took so long for me to get surgery, because he wouldn't let me see a doctor, I now have permanent nerve damage because of it.
Okay, now when he broke your back, did the police come out? You said they took a report. What did they do with him? They didn't arrest him?
No, I called them and told them about it, and they told me once again that it was domestic, but I didn't have witnesses. I didn't know at the time there was a man poaching deer in the woods. Someone came to me later, a friend of his, and told me that his friend told him everything he saw and heard. I mean, he was repeating word for word what the man said to me, and the fact that he heard my bones break, he heard the hair rip out of my head when he grabbed me from behind and body slammed me on the ground, and he said that he thought that he had watched the man kill me when my body went limp, when he grabbed me by the throat to drag me out into the woods. He was saying to cut me up.
What's the name of the police department, and what's the police chief's name, if you know it?
It's Morgan County Sheriff's Department, and the main guy is Sheriff Ledbetter.
Okay. And do you know the names of the officers that came out to your house when your back was broken?
That was Larry Lawson. I have called him several times over the years, and every time I call him out, if it's something pertaining to Mike, he doesn't even file an incident report.
And why is that?
I've asked him, he keeps telling me he was just really busy. But then when I went to the DA with it, they said that since there was no police report, they couldn't do anything.
Okay, what makes you think that the cops are taking drugs from your husband or your boyfriend?
The same head of DEA that refused to come out the first time, this wasn't Larry Lawson, it was a man named Wayne Potter.
Okay.
He was sitting in my driveway when we first moved to Morgan County. And when I walked out to the mailbox, I heard him say to Mike, "We'll set a trailer up at the end of the property for you." They said, "and you can cook meth in it." He said, "We'll put a camera in it, and then I'll bust everybody that comes in to buy." And I got upset, and I said, "No, this lease is in my name. Nobody's going to cook any meth here." And I turned around and I said, "You need to get off my property. You're trespassing."
And that was he was a police officer.
Yeah, and this is the same one that had told Mike when we were at Subway after my back was broken, and he didn't come out and talk to Mike. He said that he had just been busted with 5 working labs in his home. They didn't arrest him, but they told him he needed to quit his job and that he had gone to the Wartburg Police Department from the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, where is Mike now, the man that abused you?
He moved in with the woman that lives right next door to my house. That's why I'm living in an apartment. I can't go back to my property because he lives right next door. And the police, he keeps going over and destroying my home, stealing things, and telling people that he'll pay them to come after me, or he'll give them drugs to burn down my trailer. He keeps making threats towards me, and every time I call them, they tell me I need to leave this man alone, that he's not doing a thing to me.
So the police say that
They won't protect me.
Oh, so they won't protect you. So the police say that you're actually bothering him.
Yeah. Yeah, they told me to leave that poor man alone, that he hadn't done a thing to me. Even though they know I have witnesses for these things, they tell me that he hasn't done a thing, that I need to leave him alone. Larry Lawson actually called me on my cell phone and threatened to arrest me if I ever bothered him again or tried to call in any reports. He says that they're all false reports. And even when I call in a report, I tell them what has happened, and I said, I'm pretty sure it's him, but I can't prove it. I just need for you to know what's going on. I've never asked them to arrest him for it, but he's claiming that he's going to arrest me for filing false reports.
Okay, and the things that you've been reporting more recently have been break-ins to your home?
Yes. Last time I went in, I took pictures. I had the police come out. They took pictures, and this was a different officer, a young kid, so he actually filed a report on it. And I went in and asked Sheriff Ledbetter, the main sheriff,